Rick, I'll call back in.
1 minute.
Okay, Rick, this is Doug. Are you hearing me?
All righty, Doug, let's go ahead and get going. I've got everything on.
Okay, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Well, guys, this is Doug Jones, and Rick and I are going to talk about the importance of the system in building your FEG business. But I just wanted to start off with sharing a story of how I got here, because I think it's important for you guys to understand that, friends, you need to be a little bit persistent. Rick drifted on me a couple of months, and I didn't pay any attention to it. And then he called me one day and said I really needed to look at this video he had about this opportunity. And when I looked at that, what I saw was that I needed the product. I mean, I really only watched the video to get him off my back, but 10 minutes into it, I knew I needed the product, because I make good money, or at that time I made good money talking to people about mortgages on the phone. But and my wife would have been fine if I had died of a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, or anything else, and she'd miss me, but she'd be fine financially. But what I saw was that if I had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer and couldn't talk on the phone, that we would be in deep trouble. And so my first thought was, I'm going to call Rick and get him to write me a policy. And my second thought right away, because my mama didn't raise no dumb babies, was that I've never heard of this. And I've been in financial services for 28 years. I work with a lot of life insurance guys. I'm friends with them, and I've never heard of this. So maybe nobody else has either. And guys, from that day, that was late December last year, to this, I've probably talked to over 1,000 people about this opportunity and about these products, and I've run into just four, less than a handful, who knew that living benefits existed before I talked to them. So we are on a crusade here. We do have to get this word out, because this matters to people. The average cost of surviving a heart attack is $285,000. It destroys families financially. We have a business here that's definitely worthy of our energy, because there's a lot of money in it, as you'll see in a minute. But it's also a cause worthy of our passion. But if you're going to be effective in that cause, you need a system, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. So, Rick, back to you.
Well, thanks so much, Doug, and for everybody on the line tonight. Doug Jones got his decided to get his license in January of this year, and has built the fastest growing organization in the history of Freedom Equity Group. Now, we started our campaign to help Americans retire with dignity just about 7 months ago. But Freedom Equity Group's been around for over 10 years. And you know what? To have the fastest growing group by a brand new agent, over 500 agents right now, spanning most of the United States, is an unbelievable accomplishment. So, Doug, your leadership and even the system is being upgraded as we speak, the system that we're using to build to integrate a lot of what Doug Jones is doing. So let me ask you a question, and it's appearing on your screen right now. What would you do if you knew exactly what to do in order to win? Well, would you do something else? Would you make up your own rules? What would you do if you knew exactly what to do in order to win? Well, I think the answer to that's pretty simple. You'd do what it is, and then you would win. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the system. And the system obviously is very important. What it's geared toward, it's geared to help the novice right from the beginning, help that novice from the dream of prosperity with Freedom Equity Group through predictable steps that'll lead to the inevitable outcome of a profitable, knowledgeable Freedom Equity Group vice president. You see, the building block of success that you will build your FEG empire on is known as the Team Leader Unit. That unit is just helping 3 new agents to help them earn the Sprint Award. And we'll get into exactly what that is, as that's an integral part of step 1 in the system. So remember, what we're going to do is we're going to build our business built on these bricks, Team Leader Units. And a Team Leader Unit is 3 agents that have earned the Sprint Award. And this is the building block that can be easily and predictably replicated. First, we learn it, then we teach it, then we replicate it. You will become basically a team leader factory. This allows you to turn out the bricks in your organization that'll build a monument for your financial future. And the system is not necessarily for the personal producer. The system allows you to be duplicatable, and duplicatability allows you to be leveraged and to grow. All great businesses and governments and communities rely on a system. Now here's a very important point. You don't need to be talented to run a system, but you do need to be disciplined. You see, someone who has no restaurant experience, if they went down the street and opened up Rick's Restaurant, do they know who to hire, what to pay, how many waitresses you need, how do you do payroll, what the chefs need, what the menu needs, how much inventory do you need? Of course, you'd probably fail. But if you bought a McDonald's, you'd succeed. Well, both are restaurants. What's the difference? The difference is the system. What you would do is you would follow exactly what McDonald's tells you to do. How many burgers to order, what inventory to carry, what's the temperature of the grease that the fries are in, etc. If you knew exactly what to do to win, you'd do it. So you'd follow the system in McDonald's. So here's what we're going to teach. You don't want to change the system. Quite simply, you want to master it. Because you see, if you run the system will run your business. And as I said, the building block of the system is the team leader unit. The sense of urgency and duplicatability that you use to reach this level, and much faster than 90 days actually, is the key to your success. So the start the start of being part of the Retire with Dignity Crusade is your personal program. And the building block of your business, wait a minute. The end product is the achievement of the vice president level. Okay, so let's get into the system, exactly what it is. There's going to be 3 steps in the system that's going to lead you from the very introduction of you to Freedom Equity Group to becoming a profitable and knowledgeable Freedom Equity Group vice president. And it starts with the Sprint Award. Then it starts with building that team leader unit of blocks of 3 that have completed the requirements of the Sprint Award. That's what's known as our fast start. And then finally, with 2 more on the fast track, you will become a vice president if you can do that within the time frame allotted. So it starts with the Sprint Award and continues through to achieving vice president. Step 1, the Sprint Award. Step 2, the Fast Start Award. Step 3, Fast Start Award. Step 3, the Fast Track to Vice President. So what exactly is the Sprint Award? This is your first 10 days in the business. I guarantee you, folks, a fast start is an easy start. And here's what you need to accomplish in the first 10 days, and it's what you need to work with each and every new agent to accomplish in the first 10 days. This is your roadmap to success. The very first part of that is everybody does this business for their reason, not for your reason. You need to know what are the goals and objectives of each and every agent that you bring on. We recommend that you do what's known as a live demo as you're sitting down and getting the goals and objectives of what your individual is. You want to show that new agent exactly what is the activity they need to do on a daily basis in order to succeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Doug Jones, who is a master at this, to come on and present exactly how he takes his new agent through the first step in the Sprint Award, and that is showing them how they can achieve their goals. Doug, it's back to you.
Okay, can you hear me, Rick?
Yeah, speak up loud if you would.
Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm working with a cell phone on a speaker mode here, so bear with me. But what we've got here, first of all, is the disclaimers over here. This is a potential income calculator. Obviously, this is a business. There's no guarantee of anything, but there's also no limit. So 75% of commissions are paid in advance in the insurance industry because the insurance industry is obviously cash rich. So it's the only industry I know of where you can do a sale that your client is paying $300 a month for, and they will pay you 75% of $3,000 which is about $2,400 coming right out of the gate. So the 75% of the commissions are paid in advance. 25%, the other part that you earn, is actually paid when it is earned in the last 3 months of the policy year. Lapses in policy payments during the first 9 months do result in chargebacks of unearned commissions, of course. So you want to be sure to write policies that are appropriate to the people that are writing them for. We do a lot of training on that. FEG is a very training-intensive culture. So if you want to become a professional, you're in the right place, because we will show you, take you by the hand and show you. We actually have training VPs who will actually do your first sales with you to train you how to do that. So no worries as long as you follow the training. And then the last point is this business is a business, not a job. And there's no ceiling on what you can earn, and there's no guarantee you'll earn anything, because income is based, of course, on results. But here's what I will promise you. Those who consistently work our team-building system do much better than those who don't. So let me show you what's possible here, and then Rick will wrap it up. I'm down at actually at a conference in Orange County with Mark Victor Hansen and a number of reps down here. I stepped out just because Rick asked me to show you the money. So that's what we're going to do right here. What I've got is a potential income calculator spreadsheet. I've set it up for assuming that you're at the vice president position. And in just a couple of minutes, Rick will show you how to get specifically, step by step, how you can become vice president at the top of our commission scale within 30 to 60 days. So this is assuming you've already achieved that, and it's also set up with $3,000 as the average annual target premium. And what that means in plain English is that is commissionable volume. That's what the commissions are paid on. So if you're at the vice president level of Aneco, which is one of our main carriers, then you're at the 80% level. If the commission was $3,000 and you wrote one sale yourself, then you would get 80% of 3,000, which is 2,400. But in my particular organization, because I'm brand new, most of my people are brand new to insurance, we're actually a little bit over 2,000, about $2,200 in average annual target premium. And so what I'm going to do is dumb this down because I'm going to show you what I'm really experiencing right now, and I expect that number to go up as we gain experience, but it's still unbelievably good, so it's fine if we dumb it down a little bit. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 25% of that away, because I think most people really care about the right now money, not about the money that they're going to get 9 months from now. That's nice 9 months from now, but I care, I need to live on what I'm making right now, and I imagine most of you do too. So $1,500, if we did a $2,000 annual target, $1,500 is what would be commissionable volume today. That's 75% of the commission, which is advanced. So if I, as the vice president, do one sale at $2,000 annual target, they will pay me in advance $1,200. That's about a $300 a month payment from the client. And hopefully by now you've seen that $300 pays for a whole lot of different things, and it's a great value. So this is not to talk about the product, but that is a phenomenal value. So the point I want to make is how this calculator works, and then I'm going to show you different income levels. So this is assuming very conservative $2,000 average annual target with 25% of it taken away because that's paid at the end of the year. So this is the right now money on a pretty low average. And I'm going to assume that because we lead with opportunity, and that gives us the ability to put this story in front of an endless stream of people. Remember, I'm living proof that leading with the opportunity gets people's attention to the product. Most of the people who join us, of course, buy policies, but a good number of people who don't join us also buy policies. So if you follow our system, I'm going to assume that you can sell at least one policy a week. You can probably do quite a bit better than that, but I'm being very conservative here. So that's 4 policies a month. If you're a vice president and your average is only $2,000 in annual target, then the right now money on 4 sales a month would be $4,800 a month, or $57,600 a year. Now, I'm also going to assume that it's a year from now, and you have been consistently and persistently doing this, and you're not very good at it, so you only have 8 people that have gotten involved with you at the 40% level. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to assume you have 8 at the end of the year and 8 at the 50% level. Both of those levels, by the way, you can hit within your first 30 days with our plan. So I'm going to assume that you're starting people at the 40 and 50% level because they're following our system, and I'm going to assume that they do 2. So I'm sorry. I'm off because I'm out of my element here down at the hotel. I'm going to assume you have 4 people who join you at each of those levels, a total of 8 people, and each of them do 2. So that's 2 times 4 is going to be 16 sales at each of those commission levels within your vice president's organization. And I apologize for stumbling through this a little bit, but what that shows you is that if you had, 4 times 2 is 8. If you had 20 sales a month, you'd make $13,200 if it was distributed that way. The reason is that you're getting paid 100% of the personal business. You're getting a differential on the business done by the folks that are sales leaders, district managers, and division managers within your organization. They get paid at the 40, 50, or 60% level. You get the difference because the company always pays the 80%. You as the vice president keep the difference in their production, and that's your compensation for having found them, trained them, and helped them to build their business up. Now, as they get to 80%, of course, there's no more differential left for you. That's when they break away, and that's good, not bad, because that's when you begin to get a generational override, not just on that person that you invited and trained and plugged into our system, but on every single person in our group. So imagine that you had one person that became a vice president who's doing exactly what you're doing. They do 20 in their group. That's an extra $2,700 a month or an extra $32,000 for you. It's not too big a stretch of the imagination to suppose you could have 5 people get to that vice president level. I just had 5 people get there in the last 4 days, just arrive at that level. So if you had 5, when they get their group up to the 20 loans, I used to come from the loan business, sorry about that, 20 cases a month, then 5 at 20, of course, would be 100. You can see that you can earn substantial income on the overrides on these generational breakaway groups that you developed. And so the point here, guys, is just this. There's a lot of money in the insurance industry. We have a product that everybody needs. The companies are paying us a great deal of money to tell the story and to help people trade out of their old-fashioned insurance that doesn't have living benefits for the new modern insurance you don't have to die to use. So there's as much money as you want here. I just took it up to a pretty modest level. There will be 7- and 8-figure earners here, not a lot of them probably, because most people will stop long before that and go to the beach. But whatever you want to make, if you're willing to follow the system that Rick is going to show you, you can earn that here because the system works. The insurance industry is paying a lot of money, and everybody in America needs the product we're bringing to the market. We're in front of a product revolution, and we are the leaders in that revolution. So back to you, Rick.
Thanks so much, Doug. I appreciate it. You know, folks, this is something that when you're sitting down with your new agent, you find out what are their goals, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, and then you can show them exactly what that is going to mean and the amount of sales per month and on what level. I think Doug is about to change the, I could change the presenter back to me. Hang on one second. Here we go. Okay, so on the Sprint Award, step number 1, as I said, is, hang on, I want to make sure my screen is being shown here. It looks like it. Okay, from the current slide. Okay, like we said, as you're sitting down with your new agent, you find out what they want to make 6 months, 12 months down the road, 2 years down the road. And you can enter into that calculator exactly what will help them get their goals. And now you know their why. Now, the second thing in the Sprint Award is you meet the spouse. And why do you do that? And is it necessary? Folks, we live our personal lives much longer and much before, and more important than our business life. And the spouse is very important to each and every one of us. Doug, are you still on? I want to check out here. If not, I'll give his testimonial. Doug, are you there? Okay. As you all know, Doug has been in the business now for 7 months. And his wife has said, go ahead and do what you need to do. You know, it's your business. Enjoy it. She allowed him to go on, but didn't want to take any part of it. I was down there last week, and he invited his wife to go to the meeting that we had in Orange County. That was the first meeting and first presentation where she really got an idea of what was going on. At the end of the meeting, she was wondering why, and she told Doug, you need to work harder at this business, and each and every one of our children must get one of these policies. We'll even make a deal with them if they get the policy that, you know, we'll work with them on the commission that we make on that as long as they get the policy and hold it for their future. And then she really surprised Doug. She says, I'm going to get my insurance license also. So meeting the spouse, it's going to be a vital part of your business, and that could be done over the phone. Number 3, you got to complete your own personal financial strategy. Number 4, you got to start the licensing process. Number 5, create the inventory for your business, and we're going to get into each and every one of these steps. And number 6 is 3 short field presentations minimum. So to win the Sprint Award in 10 days, you want to set your goals and objectives, meet with the spouse of your new agent, complete your own plan, become a product of the product, start the licensing process, get the inventory for your business, and have 3 short field presentations. That is the first step in that brick or building block of getting to vice president, and you want to do it in that order. You see, you are a factory, and every factory needs the right raw material to get the end product, and our raw material revolves around attitude. If it's the right time, if the time or the opportunity is not right for someone, then no one's going to be good enough to close the deal. But closing doesn't mean just signing someone up. It means directing and training them through the system, because you know what? If you really have to drag someone over the starting line, then you're going to have to drag them over the finish line also. So if you're willing and able to train a new recruit, but they're not willing and able to be trained, well, I tell you, you sold yourself on a very frustrating proposition. So that factory, we must learn to lead those who can be led and are coachable. Will they go through all 6 steps of the Sprint Award? Those that are not coachable, well, they're the wrong raw materials for your factory. I mean, could you imagine investing in a McDonald's franchise and decide that you don't like the way they do the fries and you're going to do them the way they do them over at Burger King, and you don't want to cook the burgers the same, and you want to add hot dogs to the menu? Well, it's just not going to work. You might as well have started your own restaurant instead of a McDonald's. You've got to follow the system. So how do you know if you have the right material? Well, coachable's not stamped on our foreheads. It's the why, the written goals. You got to lay out the goals, do the live demo as we showed, and the timeline for each person's objectives. Remember, this is step 1 in the Sprint Award, the why, the goals. Step 2, meet the spouse. You need to get the spouse on board. We all live our family lives before our business lives, and we must have that family have a team mentality. Now remember, the spouse doesn't have to be part of the business process, but they're surely part of the capability of our new agent to become part of the crusade. And it's our responsibility to educate the spouse as well as the new agent and trainee on the merits of both the business and the product. Step number 3 in the Sprint Award is own your own personal program. You got to complete a needs analysis with your sponsor and mentor. Protect yourself and your family and that which is suitable for you. If you can't afford the full retirement program, well, you want to rent it first. Get yourself a term policy in the interim with living benefits to protect your family against that economic catastrophe should you have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. To be a crusader, you need to be a product of the product. Also, this is a necessary step for the fast track to vice president. Remember, we've got 3 steps we're making to the fast track to vice president. 1 is the Sprint Award with 6 steps. I'm on step number 3. Step number 2 will be the fast start. We'll get into that. And then the fast track, which ends up at the vice president. Now, step number 4 in the Sprint Award, you need inventory for your business. You know, quite simply, one of the interesting things, if you had a grocery store, do you need groceries on the shelves? Of course you do. If you had a shoe store, do you need shoes? Of course. You need an inventory for your business. You know what the interesting thing is? Your inventory is free. If you owned a grocery store and they parked a big old semi-truck full of fresh groceries out there and they said you could have it free if you just unload it, how much of that truck would you unload? A little bit of it or all of it? Like I said, a grocery store needs groceries, shoe stores need shoes. Your business needs prospects. That's your inventory. And your inventory is free and it's easy to get. A prospect list is a list of people who may or may not join our crusade. It's also people who may or may not buy from you may or may not need our product. You can't guess in advance who those people would be. So I recommend with your new agent that you use the 10-circle list. What is the 10-circle list? And it's a sheet of paper that looks like this. Hand it to them and ask them to fill in the names around those 10 circles of people they know and love. If their parents are alive, siblings are alive, children are alive, they need to be in there. And now don't tell them, have your agent fill in the names of the 10 closest people to him or her, but tell them not to think or try to guess what the exercise is for, just have them fill in the closest people that they love. That would be parents and children and siblings, closest friends. It should all be included. Now you take that piece of paper, you should have a red felt tip pin with you. Put a big red X through 7 of them randomly. You know what that represents? That's the 7 out of 10 that will have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer before the age of 65. How do we know that? Well, it's the law of averages. So ask your agent if you picked the right 7. And of course, he's going to look at that and say, well, he doesn't know. Well, then give him the red pen and tell him to pick the right 7. And you know what? He's not going to be able to do it. He doesn't know either. Explain how it's impossible to pick them. Just as it's impossible to pick who would be right for the business or the product, we must let them decide. We want to get 100 names and numbers, 25 at the absolute minimum. You know, and this should not be accomplished by the new recruit alone. You tell someone to go home and make a list of 100 people, they might go into the phone book for you. This should be done with you and the new agent and with the spouse if possible, because you want fresh groceries in your store. You want good prospects in that list. The spouse should be involved in this, and if you can be present, that's really all the better. And you know what? Cheating is allowed. Yeah, you could use your cell phone, database, your Facebook page, Christmas card list, etc. And then you want to immediately identify the first 3 to 5 to help them qualify for the Sprint Award. Because remember, we're going to do 3 short or abbreviated field presentations. So step number 5 is you need to start the licensing process, because no license means no business now or later. What's the purpose of continuing to try to train someone who's not started the most easy and vital of processes? Are they sticking their toes in the water to see what will happen if they try just a little? Or do they want to just try before they buy? Is this the type of commitment you want to spend your time and talents on? Will you let yourself be the guinea pig? Will you cheapen yourself for this test? And finally, we come to the end where you're going to win the Sprint Award, and that is 3 to 5 short presentations. These are short live presentations, and they could be in person or over the internet. The company has developed about a 6-slide, very quick presentation. Calling somebody up and asking the 7 magic words. Are you in front of your computer? You can present those 5 slides with your sponsor on the line with you and just give the people an idea of what's going on. We call it an invitation for more information. You're not going to sell them on the program, but you're going to open their eyes that there's such a thing, starting off with the question, do you have any insurance? If they say, yeah, say, do you have to die to get any of the money? And they say, yeah, tell them get rid of it. They got the wrong type of insurance. And that's why you're calling. And you give them that short 5-slide presentation and ask them at the end of it, with what you've seen so far, are you open to receiving more information? All this is meant as an invitation for more information. You've got the ice broken. You have completed the Sprint Award. The spouse is at least to acknowledge that she's okay with her partner doing the business. They have started the licensing process. They have created the inventory for their business. You know what their why is, and you've shown them exactly what they need to do in order to achieve their goals, and you actually help them with the first 3 to 5 short invitations for more information. And you know what? That's prospecting, and you get paid. Explain exactly to your new agent that they get paid to prospect. You see, you get paid on every prospect, whether they join or not. How is that true? Well, find out what your average. and measure your activity in dollars. You see, if you have 1 out of 10 prospects, that's 1 out of 10 of those invitation for more information. If they join and create a $2,000 commission for you, then you talk to 10, you got 1, created $10,000 commission for you. That means each person you talk to is worth $200 to you, because you couldn't find the 1 unless you went through the 10. So you can predict what your incomes could be. Insurance companies do it all the time. They use the law of averages. They bet their very existence on it. That's what's known as the actuarial table. The important thing is, by using the law of average, it works. Once you know what a prospect is worth, you can predict exactly what it will take for you to earn $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000 a month on your efforts. Your organization will expand from this using the system. Okay, we got through the Sprint Award, and we got our new agents that we're taking through the Sprint Award. So how do we achieve the fast start? You create a brick, the building block of your organization. And what is a brick? Well, quite simply, it's 3 people who have completed the 6 tasks of the Sprint Award. You complete your own licensing course. If you complete your own licensing course, you can get paid on the 3 people who have completed the 6 tasks of the Sprint Award. Remember, that's 3 training sales in there, and you have completed 1 brick for the building block of your organization. And now you are on the fast track, the 3rd part of our fast track to VP. Just 2 more individuals who complete the Sprint Award requirements totally within 60 days gives you your 5 sales plus your own as you completed the Sprint Award yourself. Welcome. You are a new vice president with the company. So, in summary, what are we looking at? The system that we take everybody through is, number 1, they need to achieve the Sprint Award. Number 2, they need to achieve the fast start, which is 3 people achieving the Sprint Award. That makes you a team leader. That increases your commission percentages, and that is your first building block in your financial monument that you're building with Freedom Equity Group. And then 3rd, you complete the requirements. That's 2 additional, all within 60 days. You're a vice president with Freedom Equity Group. The Sprint Award, again, 6 simple steps. Find out the goals and show them how they can get it. Meet the spouse and let her know, or him, exactly what we are doing. Get started on your own program. Be a product of the product to join the crusade. Step number 4, of course, is the licensing process. Number 5 is get the inventory for your business. It's free. Unload the entire truck. And then finally, start your prospecting where you know exactly how much you make on the activity, whether it's a sale or not. Start with free information for our invitation for more information. We'll be expanding a lot of the details and points on the system as we go on. We'll be posting this recording. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. I want to thank Doug Webb for coming on. He's doing an unbelievable job. The fastest growing organization in Freedom Equity Group. And the question we came through is, where do I get the 5-slide presentation? Email Marcy, that's M. Morales, M-M-O-R-A-L-E-S, at fegcorp.com, and or M. St. Clair, S-T-C-L-A-I-R, and they have that. Ask them that you want to get that. So thanks very much for joining us. Everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye now.